In Georgia, we have, obviously our district is very dominant with agriculture, but in Georgia we have what is known as right to farm laws. And these laws protect farmers from being essentially sued when new property owners and adjacent land move to the area, to keep them from suing over nuisances. While we also have laws that protect the private property rights of individuals generally. But this is a lobbyist issue that is being pushed in the legislature. It's actually an active bill right now. So how do you, as a legislator, how would you juggle trying to protect agriculture and what our farmers seek to do as they make a living, while balancing business, individual property rights, and keeping our courts from just being inundated with lawsuits all the time? Judge Palmer, we'll start with you.
All right, thank you. We actually already have a right to farm law. I believe it was in 1980 such a law was passed. So agriculture in Georgia is already operating under such a law. I know that there is a new bill. I'm not as familiar with it as I would like to be. I haven't had the opportunity to read all of it. I read a little bit of it. The bill itself may in fact have some parts that are redundant, because we have that 1980 bill and we have other property rights bills that not are just aimed at agriculture but are aimed at general property ownership. I think there have been some concerns that when agricultural interests have started some types of new businesses, that they were concerned about being sued for what they were doing. We obviously have the situation where long-term property owners, agricultural interests, have been operating a certain kind of farming operation, and those do have, under the old right to farm bill, they have the right to do those without the necessity of being sued for a nuisance or that type of thing. We need to look carefully at the issue of new businesses coming in. If you come into, say you're a small owner and you come in and open a new business, we do need to look at those laws carefully and see how you might impact the surrounding property owners and see what rights you might need in order to do your business. So I really think that we have sufficient laws already on the books, but I'd be very happy to study this law a little more carefully. But we have an extensive amount of laws on property owner rights, on nuisance laws, and probably all of those laws would be very aptly used to protect both the rights of the property owners and the rights of the farmer as well.
Thank you. Mr. Hickman?
Jessica, I think you're referring to House Bill 545.
That's right.
And my understanding, well, first of all, my understanding of that is that a farmer, John Burns, is the one that introduced that bill. And I trust his judgment explicitly. I mean, his credibility at the state level and also in our legislature is unbelievable. So I trust his judgment. Also, as that bill goes a little bit further, my understanding of it is it protects, agriculture is the #1 industry in our state. And if we ever get ourselves in a situation where we're having to depend on the world for food, we're in a mess. We just came out of a situation where we were depending on the world for oil, and now we're oil independent. So that's my concern, is make sure that we protect our family farms, and make sure that those existing structures. And what I think what this refers to is some of these, and in our area, one of the big things is chicken house, the chicken farm. So if you've got 4 or 5 chicken houses and somebody goes and builds a subdivision next to it, my understanding that becomes a nuisance to that subdivision. Well, those chicken houses were there before the subdivision was there. So I think we need to look at agriculture, look at what the base of the biggest industry in Georgia is, and make sure we protect our farmers and then move forward. But I got a lot of, again, I respect John Burns for introducing that bill.
Thank you. Dr. Wilkie?
Yes, I think I'm definitely for the right to farm. As has been stated before, the farmers are there first typically, and the subdivisions kind of move in around them, and I think they have to be accountable for that movement around. This really goes to a bigger issue, to tort reform as well, because up in North Carolina, the farmer got sued for this. I believe he was a hog farmer, and certainly the odors, if you've ever been around a hog farm, are pretty strong. They sued, and the farmer lost. And I think the day when we do that is very sad to me. We need the farmers, we need them to be as productive, as efficient as possible, and decrease as much regulation as we can to help them be successful. They want an even playing field. They want to even playing field to compete in the world market, because this is a world economy now. So I think this goes to that, and I think certainly support that 100%.
Thank you. Mr. Singleton?
Like Mr. Hickman says, it is HB 545. Of course, I'm for right to farm. I want you to be able to do whatever you want to on your property. With that, I believe this bill is actually giving opportunities for foreign-owned government and large farms to come into the state. HB 545 will allow a farmer, say a Chinese pig farmer, to come in, buy 100, 500 acres or whatever, place 10 farms on that farm for 2 years. Once those 2 years waiting period is up and there's no complaints, they can bring in 100,000 pigs. That's where the problem comes in. So it's a strategy that's going to actually trick people. You may say, oh, it's a small farm right now with 10 pigs on it, and look, Billy's over there farming on it, when it's actually owned by a Chinese farm company who in 24 months plans on putting 100,000 pigs across from your house that when you was already there before. When it comes to farming too, I think we have to also approach local zoning issues. The state has zoning stuff, so does your local community, so does your local counties. So we would have to look at the local county and ask, why was this even approved? And go from that route. Farm all you want, but if you're a contractor wanting to put a 500 home subdivision across from chicken houses, that's their problem. That's your problem. I won't support that action. But what I won't support is 545 allowing farmers like Chinese-owned corporations coming in and basically hoodooing everybody for 2 years.